Ngaba and welcome to Myanmar Today. I am Henry Zin with the latest news and reports from around Myanmar. Agajo brings us a report on over 2,860 million kyats worth of shares traded in July. Williamson with a report on International Youth Day celebration in Yangon. Williamson again shares a report on the role of birds for nature. David Tanner brings us a report on Advance Your Business with Digital Transformation. Before we get to the reports, we've got some local news. State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi addressed the International Youth Day 2019 held at the Myanmar International Convention Centre 2 in Naypyidaw on Monday. In her address, State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi said the day's event was held not only for youth but also for the entire education system. Education or knowledge is the ability to evaluate matters independently. It is not doing what others are doing. That was not the mindset of an educated or knowledgeable person. The State Councillor said Myanmar youth must be given the ability to evaluate benefits for themselves as well as for their surroundings. These abilities will provide innovative power for the future as well as to change the situation of the past. All must know that education or knowledge was not for one only. The State Councillor also said some thought education was for one person only. This was due to an education system that competed for marks. With a view that the best person was the one with the highest mark, people forgot the other values of education. They thought education was to achieve the highest mark. These mindsets need to be changed. Chairman of the National Disaster Management Committee and Vice President Henry Zin presided over a ceremony on Monday to provide relief assistance for the flood victims in Mun State. Organized by the Myanmar Rice Federation, the ceremony was held at the Mun State Hall to donate a total of 2,250 rice bags, 20 million kyats, and 370 bags of chemical fertilizers contributed by Myanmar Rice Millers Association, Myanmar Rice Merchants Association, and its branches from states or regions and wholesale commodity centers, and individual rice merchants to the National Disaster Management Committee in the presence of Mun State's Chief Minister Dr. A. Zan, Deputy Ministers, Rear Admiral Mien Nui, U Tim Mien, U La Jo, U So Aun, departmental officials, Chairman of the Myanmar Rice Federation, U Ye Min Aun, and representatives from partner associations. In his speech, Vice President Henry Zin said that local organizations and business persons joined hands with the government whenever natural disasters took place in Myanmar. Deputy Minister for Construction U Jo Lin and Rakhine State Government's Transport Minister U Aung Jo Zan inspected the camps for returnee families in Mount Or District on Sunday. The officials visited Othane Camp, where the construction of houses has been fully completed. The Deputy Minister asked to continue the remaining works on building roads inside the camp. A total of 122 houses, 72 units by UEHRD and 50 units by Japan, have been set up together with 1 unit of community center for the displaced local ethnic people. The Deputy Minister and party then proceeded to Jainchang Town Camp and looked into constructions of the houses and the entrance road to the camp. A total of 211 houses, 100 units by UEHRD, 60 units by India, and 51 units by Japan, and a community center are ready to re-accept the refugees. And that's all with the local news. Our reporter Agajo brings us the first report. The listed companies on Yangon Stock Exchange traded over 490,000 shares worth of over 2,860 million kyats were traded in July. Our reporter Agajo reached out to the experts for more on the stock traded in July and the updated preparation for foreign participation.
In July 2019, the listed companies on Yangon Stock Exchange traded over 250,000 shares on normal trading and 235,000 shares on block trading. In total, over 490,000 shares worth of over 2,860 million kyats were traded in July. From 2016 March to 2019 July, about 124 million shares worth of 128 billion kyats were traded on Yangon Stock Exchange. YSX Executive Senior Manager Uttaton U explained more on the listed companies with highest and lowest trading.
ကျွန်တော်2019 July လမှာတော့ကျွန်တော် Yangon Stock Exchange မှာရှိတဲ့စင်ဝင်ကုမ္ပဏီ 5 ခုဟာဒီ normal trading ပေါ့နော်တာမန်ဒီရောင်းဝယ်စနစ်နဲ့ share စုစုပေါင်း
The company with highest trading is the MTSA, while the bank shares are the lowest in trading. The list companies on Yangon Stock Exchange trade over 250,000 shares on normal trading and 235,000 shares on block trading. Over 490,000 shares worth of over 2,860 million kyats were traded in July.
Yangon Stock Exchange is currently trading the stock shares of the 5 companies, namely First Myanmar Investment Public Company Limited (FMI), Myanmar Thilawa Azizat Holdings Public Limited (MTSH), Myanmar Citizens Bank Limited (MCB), First Private Bank Limited (FPB), TMH Telecom Public Company Limited (TMH). U Taunghan, Managing Director of CB Securities, shared his opinion.
The market was active in the first 6 to 12 months after opening, but the market's momentum dropped gradually in third and fourth years and it went cold. This is because the investors' interest in contingent on the return on their investment. So the return needs to be attractive enough to draw the investors. So the small return is the factor that cannot draw the investors' attention. But when we look at the companies, they cannot yet share their attractive profit due to the country's economy. So, opening the market to the foreign participation is expected to reboot the market.
Securities Exchange Supervisory Commission of Myanmar recently announced that foreigners can participate in trading of Myanmar stocks up to 35%. The foreigners and local foreign companies will be allowed to trade the stocks on Yangon Stock Exchange. The percentage that foreign participation for each listed company allows will be managed by the Yangon Stock Exchange and respective securities houses. For more on the latest update on the readiness for the foreign participation, Executive Senior Manager Uttaton U explained.
foreigner participation ပေါ့နော် stock ဈေးကွက်ထဲမှာ
The Securities Exchange Supervisory Commission of Myanmar has released a notification to allow the foreign participation. Now we are trying to execute the notification and we expect that it will take 3 or 4 months for the notification to come alive. We are preparing necessary plans for the foreign investors who might be interested in trading.
Yangon Stock Exchange Joint Venture Company Limited obtained permission of foreign investment from the Myanmar Investment Commission (MIC) in 2014. In 1996, Myanmar Economic Bank and Daiwa Institute of Research formed the Myanmar Securities Exchange Center (MSEC) with the final goal of establishing a stock exchange. In 2012, the Central Bank of Myanmar, under the Ministry of Planning and Finance, Daiwa Institute of Research, and Japan Exchange Group signed an MOU to develop human resources and provide technical assistance for the development of financial and capital markets in Myanmar. Yangon Stock Exchange Joint Venture Company Limited obtained permission of foreign investment from Myanmar Investment Commission (MIC) in 2014. In July, basic course for stock investment number 6 was conducted and 74 people. It is also reported that the third YSX Expo is set to be held on September 1st, aiming to raise awareness on the importance of capital markets, which is vital for the private sector development, to disseminate opportunities and market insights for the investors, as well as to bring up the new generation with financial and market knowledge. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on over 2,860 million kyats worth of shares traded in July. We're going to take a look at the weather conditions now in Myanmar. In Yangon, it's going to be cloudy, a morning thunderstorm in parts of the area, then a couple of thunderstorms around during the day, but there will be thunderstorms in parts of the area in the evening. Otherwise, considerable clouds at night. The daily outlook is around 31 degrees Celsius high, but it's going to feel like 37 degrees Celsius. There's a 63% chance of rain for the day. In Naypyidaw, it's going to be mostly cloudy, a couple of showers and thunderstorms mainly later in the day. There'll be considerable clouds and a few thunderstorms at night. The daily outlook is around 30 degrees Celsius high, but it's going to feel like 37 degrees Celsius, 70% chance of rain for the day. In Mandalay, there'll be considerable clouds, a thunderstorm during the day. However, there will probably be a thunderstorm in spots in the evening. Otherwise, considerable clouds at night. The daily outlook is around 32 degrees Celsius high, but it's going to feel like 37 degrees Celsius, 61% chance of rain for the day. Stay with us as Williamson brings us the second report, and we'll take a look at the stocks and currency exchange rates right after that. International Youth Day was celebrated in Yangon with the aim to empower the youth and also networking with each other with the purpose of better relations between the youth. The International Youth Day, which included a panel discussion on some of the trending contemporary issues in the world and the challenges of the youth face today in Myanmar, also aimed to promote the participation of youth in decision-making of important issues by the government in Myanmar. Williamson gives the detailed report.
As it is said, children are the future of a nation. Today's youth are the future of leaders. To become leaders in the future, today the youth must be equipped with every possible skill which the leaders should possess. Therefore, with the aim to empower the youth, International Youth Day, which is usually celebrated on 12th of August, was celebrated on 10th of August 2019 at Yangon International Hotel. The celebration aimed to empower the youth and motivate the youth as well. The event included panel discussion on some of the contemporary topics such as Industrial Revolution 4.0, the education system in Myanmar, and peace and stability in the nation. The event also offered other opportunities to the youth such as academic career, community service, and participation to youth reconciliation group. Now let's hear from DJ Limon, the chairman of Yangon Youth Network, speaking to MI Radio on this year's Youth Festival or International Youth Day.
ဒီနေ့ကတော့ဒါခေါင်းစဉ်ကပညာရေးပြင်ပြောင်းလဲခြင်းပေါ့နော်ပညာရေးပြင်ပြောင်းလဲခြင်းလို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပြောလိုက်ပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့
For this year, Youth International Day, the theme is the change in education system. So when we say educational transformation, we cannot ignore what happened in the last 4 to 5 years ago. There were some demands from the youth in educational policy which we try to negotiate at Diamond Jubilee Hall. Now we want to know how far those demands are met. We want to raise a question on it. And another issue is what happens in the world right now, like the fourth industrial revolution in which we replace human resources with machine or robots. This is already coming to Myanmar. So, is the education system in Myanmar prepared to receive the coming of Industrial Revolution 4.0? We have to think about it, and what kind of education system do we need now? These are the areas where the younger generation plays a big role, and we want to share all these issues to the youth.
The message DJ Limon gave to the youth on International Youth Day is
အဓိကအဖြစ်ဒီနေ့ကတော့ပညာရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်တော့ပညာရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ message လေးပေးမယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့ဟိုဟာလေအခုလက်ရှိမှာကျွန်တော်တို့နိုင်ငံမှာကများသောအားဖြင့်ဒါနှုတ်တိုက်ကြက်နေကြတယ်နောက်တစ်ခုကပညာရေး
As the theme itself is educational theme, I would like to give an educational related message to all the youth out there that we all feel that something is missing with the education system we have now, but we don't have the courage to speak up and we find it hard to raise our voices. Therefore, join the organizations which are working on the same issues and let's work together. And though there will surely be some hurdles and bumps, but try to do something instead of not doing anything, and it will be worth trying.
Transforming education to the Anitara or Chikambiro.
Speaking at the event, now let's hear from Dr. Esther Yupanui, the UNV country coordinator of UN volunteers.
ကမ္ဘာလူငယ်ဦးရေဟာတမိုင်းတစ်လျှောက်မှာဒီကနေ့ကမ္ဘာပေါ်မှာလူငယ်ဦးရေတစ်ခါမှဒီလောက်မများခဲ့ပါဘူး
ဒ Today, we have the highest ever number of youth population in the world in history. This younger generation has the potential to bring forth the prosperity and good things for the humanity, which we had never before. However, many of educated youth and this generation face discrimination at workplace where they are not given new opportunities, minimum wage, and other challenges as well. The worldwide recession has affected the youth the most. As a result, the youth don't get the same opportunity, which causes depression to the youth. Some youth are left behind in the process of national issues like politics, social issue, and other developmental process. And if we don't stand up and speak for ourselves, we have possibility of losing our talents as youth. The youth are the most potential ones to bring changes to our nation. As we see today, the young men and women are actively participating in the process of peace and journey to a democratic nation. Therefore, this is the time to listen to the younger generation and work together with the youth at the same time, encourage them.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
That's a report on International Youth Day celebration in Yangon. Let's take a look at the currency rates from Myanmar's central bank. $1 is at 1,508 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 213 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,688 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,827 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,090 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 360 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 49 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 21 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,515. Silver is at $17. And Brent crude oil is at $54. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI remains at 11,500. MTSH remains at 3,500. MCB went up 200 at 8,400. FPB remains at 26,000. TMH also remains at 2,900. You're still with us on MI Radio's Myanmar Today. You can visit our website at miradio.com.mm and listen to our radio programs live on the website. If you're on FM, catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. You can also download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices, so you can listen to our radio programs from anywhere in the world. Let's move on to the next report. Myanmar is a country with vast forests and different species inhabiting it. Among the many species, birds are one of the most important species which help maintain the balance of our environment in many ways. And yet, there are only a handful of people who love nature and working to preserve the nature. Go Pyo, a wildlife photographer with a special interest in birds, held his bird photos exhibition, which he captured and collected in Myanmar for nearly a decade. He hopes to promote wildlife preservation among the people and also to love nature. Williamson has the story.
Birds are important to both nature and human in many ways. They are a source of food and fertilizer. Birds are also important to the ecosystem in many ways. They pollinate the flowers and disperse seeds. As with other native organisms, birds help maintain sustainable population levels of their prey and predator species, and after that provide food for scavengers and decomposers. Many birds are important in plant reproduction through their services as pollinators or seed dispersers. Therefore, to highlight the important role birds play in maintaining the balance of the nature, Myanmar Birds photo exhibition was opened on 9 of August 2019 at Yangon Gallery, and the exhibition will go on for 2 days. These birds photos are captured and collected by Go Pyo for nearly a decade, and here they are being exhibited as a message to the people to love natural habitats, and it is also a call to start contributing for preserving these natural habitats. Speaking to MI Radio now, let's hear from Go Saira, a member of the exhibition team.
ဒီနေ့ဒီပွဲနာမည်လေးကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ Birds of Myanmar เนาะဓာတ်ပုံပြပွဲပေါ့နော် The purpose of this exhibition is to showcase the works of Go Pyo, who had been working nearly a decade in taking photography of birds, and this is all his work of documenting different birds across Myanmar. Another main aim of the exhibition is to urge the people on preserving our environment as well.
Very few people are interested in preserving the forests and natures, whereas the people have been exploiting the natures for centuries. This is the time that we need to raise our voice to preserve the nature and its habitat. This kind of bird exhibition is a rare exhibition, but Go Pyo, who is the photographer of this bird's photo, wants to make a wake-up call to the people to love nature. Speaking to MI Radio on the inspiration he got behind documenting birds in Myanmar, once again let's hear from Go Pyo, the photographer.
ပတ်ဝန်းကျင်မှာကျတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီရိုးသားပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့ပတ်ဝန်းကျင်မှာရှိတဲ့ခင်တွေတောင်းတောင်းစိတ်ဝင်စားမှုနည်းတယ်ခင်ဗျာအဲ့ဒါလေးကိုလည်းနည်းနည်း
We see very few people are interested about the birds around our environment. But I want to promote the interest of the people for birds and other wildlife as well. The birds and nature are interrelated to each other always. In order to preserve birds, there must be a fine environment for them. Therefore, my main aim is to show that we must maintain and preserve our environment well so that we can preserve birds and other natural habitats with us. This is the reason for holding this exhibition.
Speaking on the important roles birds play in nature, now let's hear from U Teng Ong, the chairman of Myanmar Bird and Nature Society.
မြက်တွေဒီဝင်းမုံကူပေးတယ်တဲ့မြက်တွေကပန်းဝီရီတွေသွားစုပ်တယ်
Birds pollinate, they consume nectar from flowers, and at the same time, they also provide a service of pollination. Not only that, after pollination, it helps with the dispersing of the seeds of plants, which in result brings reproduction of the plants. Moreover, the birds which feed on fruits, they also contribute a lot in reproduction of the plants through their dung. In this way, the birds contribute in growing more plants for our environment. Another big contribution which the birds provide is that some birds are also fed on insects, which as a result keep the balance of insect population and the balance of the nature as well. But if the birds don't consume these insects will be a big problem to the nature. By feeding on insects which destroy vegetables and other agricultural products, the birds also help us in many ways.
အလွယ်တကူပြောချင်တာတော့ရန်ကုန်မြို့သူမြို့သားတွေ
I urge all the people not to consume birds and other wildlife as well, because if we consume these products, there must be a market for this product. When there is the consumer, there is a seller. When there is seller, there must be hunter. So hunting would definitely reduce the population of wildlife on the other side. These wildlife are losing their habitat. Therefore, with the reducing space for wildlife and hunters' danger, this wildlife is in the edge of being extinct. Another thing we can contribute is we must contribute to the work of preserving nature with what we can. If we cannot participate ourselves, at least support the organizations financially which are doing it. And it does not matter how big or small the amount is.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
That's a report on the role of birds for nature. Well, last but not least, David Tanner brings us the last report. Digital technology dramatically reshaped industry after industry. Many companies are pursuing large-scale change efforts to capture the benefits of these trends or simply to keep up with competitors. With those goals in mind, the ICT talk show was held by Yangon Region Computer Industry Association at MICT Park Conference Hall. Our reporter David Tanner interviewed the experts to get an in-depth details about the event and the goal to transform businesses in Myanmar with digital technology.
Digital transformation is the integration of digital technology into all areas of a business, fundamentally changing how you operate and deliver value to customers. It's also a cultural change that requires organizations to continually challenge the status quo. experiment, and got comfortable with failure. With that being said, let's hear out from one of the experts in this area, the founder and CEO of Yangon Tech Solutions, U Aungzea Luin.
My name is Aungzea Luin. I'm the founder and CEO of Yangon, also executive committee member of MCIE Yangon. The purpose here today is basically for us to help businesses understand better about how they can advance, their businesses, to grow their business through digital transformations, So the purpose is not just to realize why you need digital transformations, because that is, I think, getting more clear and clear to everyone. It is more about what you have to do, how you will have to do it, and then what are the key challenges that you will face, because digital transformation is not an easy journey. So it requires a lot of effort, a lot of preparations, so we will cover about what are the key challenges, as well as, what are the key success factors that you need to ingrain in your organization.
What will be the drive in achievement of digital transformation? Let's find out.
Because, even though it is about digital technology, in terms of achieving a digital transformation for your business is not about technology. It is more about your business strategy, it's more about your people, it's more about how you can change your processes to basically create a better business to fit with the times. So digital transformation is basically the use of digital technologies, ICTs, plus data to see how you can change your business. So it is a way of looking at your business in a different way. It is not just about looking at how you are doing things now and then use technology on top of that. It is not that. It is more about, you look at your business and then see where you can use digital technology to transform your business. So basically how you can do things much cheaper, more effective, more efficient, as well as, how you can create new products.
Why do we need to transform into digital technology system as soon as we can? Will be answered by the founder and CEO of Myanmar Information Technology, MIT's U Thunthurathap.
We are at the corner of digital economy, Industry 4 revolution. So it's very important that different business sectors, across sectors, transform digitally to compete with one another and to gain the competitiveness against regional and global competitors. Technology is not just a technological sector, it's everywhere. Every business is a tech business. So why is this important? It's because of the awareness and inclusion. We want to include every businesses, especially the SMEs, especially the micro SMEs. They have to transform so that they're competitive and they can survive in this industrial revolution.
Why digital transformation is a must in this era? Let's find out.
There are many challenges and there are also many opportunities. And in fact, there are many threats. If you don't change, if you don't transform, you'll be out of business one way or another, sooner or later. So business has to be aware that, if your business, do not adopt digital technology, regardless of whether you are in education, healthcare, agriculture, or any sector, doesn't matter. You have to adopt that. So this is a kind of a competitive necessities. If you want to survive in the competition, you need. And if you talk about benefits, nowadays we talk about disruptors. People, usually new companies, young companies, they come in with the innovation. They make use of today's technology and today's business model. You can't compete with them unless you think like them. So for instance, I give you an example of mobile wallet versus, we got fintech, right? These financial technology companies, they are not banks. They are not even financial institutions. They compete with the banks. And banks are losing, right? If you look at WeChat Pay is not a bank, but they're providing financial services, and the penetration is way higher, way faster than any banks in the regions or globally.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio, signing out for now.
That's all the reports we have for today. Now let's have a look around on the international landscape. a new technique is being developed to help heal wounds by listening to them. Researchers at Heriot-Watt University are creating tiny electronic sensors that can hear what is going on below the bandages. Wound care costs the UK's health services billions of pounds a year. While some types of specialist wound dressings are available, the principal method of finding out how well a wound is healing has been to remove the bandages and take a look. The team is led by Dr. Michael Crichton, assistant professor in biomedical engineering at Heriot-Watt. He says he wants to bring data into the process. But what does a healthy wound sound like? Before they can know that, the researchers must investigate how skin behaves when it is cut. And that's a wrap on Myanmar Today. You can now watch the program on MITV every evening, Monday to Friday at 8:30. You can also join me on MI Radio from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m., 1 to 1:30 p.m., and from 7:30 to 8 in the evening. Don't forget to drop your comments and messages on our Facebook posts. We'll be back with more news and reports. Thank you for joining us. I am Henry Zin. Have a great day, everyone.